All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Company We Keep podcast. I am your host, Jason Pearl. This is a podcast for everyday business owners, entrepreneurs, fathers, and leaders who want to think differently about growth, want to think differently about success, and want to achieve better balance in both business and in life. Season 3 and this episode and every episode of Season 3 is sponsored by John McDonald and Harbortown Financial Group. John and his firm work with individuals, families, and small businesses to build customized financial plans using their holistic, goal-based approach. If you want to contact John and his firm, all the details will be provided on my website, jasonmpearl.com, under the podcast tab in our show notes. Today, I have a very special guest, as you can see. And as you know, I've talked about on this podcast, I'm married to my wonderful wife, Tiffany. I have two amazing daughters, Isabella, who's almost 15, and Julianna, who is almost 10, or who is 10. Gosh, I'm not almost 10. You are 10. Julianna has always been really interested in my podcast, and she loves YouTube and the thought of having her own. We have said no and will continue to say no to the YouTube channel. She really wanted to join the podcast. So as we're in the festive season, the holiday season, and we find ourselves at home, I thought it'd be an awesome time to have Julianna join us and interview me a little bit and be a part of the podcast. Because as I talk about, faith and family is more important than anything. So now I'm going to introduce my special guest, Julianna Pearl.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julianna Pearl.
All right. So Julianna, you're going to ask me a few questions, right?
What do you love most about being my dad?
What do I love most about being your dad and Bella's dad, right? So there's a lot I love about being a dad. But most importantly, I think that it's such a responsibility that God has entrusted me in to be your dad and to be Isabella's dad. And it's really important to be a good role model for you, teach you all the good things about life, but also show you the love and give you all the opportunities possible to be able to grow up and learn right from wrong, learn about God, and learn about all the things. So when you leave our house, you can be a really good person that knows enough about life to be able to provide and to be able to live on your own and make all the right choices. So I love being your dad. I love being Isabella's dad. And I feel like it's the most important job that I have on earth.
Okay, next question. How would you explain your podcast to a 10-year-old like me? Like my class.
Like your class. Okay. So that's a really good question, because oftentimes in business, we find ways to complicate things that we really shouldn't complicate. So for example, when we're explaining things, we should be explaining them in ways that just about anyone can understand. So that's a great question, Julianna. Also, if you hear me call her Buggy, her nickname is Buggy. So Julianna, Buggy, whatever. So if you hear me say that, that's why. But if I was to explain my podcast to a 10-year-old, here's how I would do it. I would say, this is a podcast for anyone that wants to be a leader in life and wants to not only succeed in whatever they do professionally, like for a job, but also succeed as being a good person to everyone around them. So I talk about ways and tasks and things that you can do to be better at your job, but also be as good of a person as you possibly can be.
Why did you decide to have a podcast?
Why did I decide to start my own podcast? So I've talked about this in previous episodes, but the reason I decided to start a podcast is because I felt that in the experience that I've had in the past 20 years in business, and it being a father, and it being a husband, and going through all the life experiences that I had, that I think there's a lot of people out there that are looking for a unique perspective. And I like to take a perspective, a positive perspective on life. And I know that when I was younger, I struggled with business, and I struggled with balancing all the things like being a dad, being a husband, having a job, and trying to provide for my family. So that's why I started it, so I could help other people maybe shortcut some of the things that I had to deal with, make people feel more comfortable with the process of trying to be a better person.
How do you help businesses and people? Like, how do you help them?
Like through Naker Consulting and what I do every day. Yeah. So essentially, to explain it real basic, I help businesses the way that they make money. If it's a product that they sell or if it's services that they provide for other people, I help teach them and give them ways to be better leaders and find more effective, better ways to work with their prospects and their current clients to be more lucrative or more profitable as a business, but also to help them be better leaders within their business for both their employees as well as their customers.
Okay, last question. Why won't you let me have a YouTube channel? I mean, I'm awesome. The whole world should get to know me.
Oh, you're certainly not shy and definitely my daughter. Why I won't let you have a YouTube channel is because right now, mommy and daddy feel like it is not the right time to be able to just have you speak into a microphone and do whatever you want whenever you want to do it. But there's a lot of different people out in the world that could see it. So for now, because you have to listen to your mommy and daddy, right? The answer is no, but we'll see what happens in the future.
Okay,
All right. So now, thank you for those questions, Juliana. Now I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay. So here we go. What's your favorite thing to do, Juliana?
At school, me and my friends, we write plays, and we ask our teacher to perform the plays. And I also like to hang out with my friends. Best friends from school are Mary Kate, Trinity, Juliana, and Katie. So we just perform plays.
Oh.
And
Yes, I know. I've seen some of those.
yeah, I read them a lot. And Bella doesn't like when I read them.
I think your plays are great. You do a great job with that. So that's your favorite thing to do, to hang out with your friends.
I have to type them.
You do type them out, don't you? You like to be nice and organized, right?
Yeah.
So your friends can have their scripts and you can do your play.
Mm-hmm. And they can practice at home.
They can practice at home because practice is important, right? Because you want to be prepared. Okay, next question. What do you love? And this may be a little self-serving. What do you love most about your daddy?
What was that? You're just like... I like you because you're funny and you're the best daddy ever, and you just bought me a puppy.
Because I just bought you a puppy.
You should have time with Olive.
I could have Olive on. I bet the people that watch on YouTube would love to see Olive. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll do that next time. Okay. All right. Another question. What are you going to ask Santa for Christmas?
I know this probably isn't going to be possible, but I want the whole world to be happy and know Jesus.
And know Jesus. That is really nice. Thank you for that. Okay. Question 4. What do you want to be when you grow up, do you think?
I have a lot of things I want to be when I grow up. I want to help kids with disabilities ride on horses. I also want to perform and play in musicals and become famous because I should be famous already.
That is ridiculous. I love, and just so you know, just so the listeners know, this has been something that Juliana came up on her own, that she loves to ride horses. She loves horseback riding, but she always thought it'd be really cool to help kids with disabilities learn how to ride horses. So she's been saying that for about the last 3 or 4 years, which is super cool. Okay, final question. Anything you would like my audience to know?
You should subscribe to my daddy's show because he's the best ever, and I think you should subscribe to this one mostly because I'm on it, and this is probably the best episode in his whole YouTube channel.
I don't have very many YouTube viewers, so I think you probably just subscribe. Is that what they do? Is that what all the kids do?
Yeah,
they say subscribe. Okay,
awesome.
awesome.
And hit that ringy dingy bell to get those notifications.
Oh, you're silly. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Company We Keep podcast. This is what my life is like every day when I come home. I get to hang out with my fun daughter, Juliana, and my wonderful daughter, Isabella, and my wonderful wife, Tiffany. And ultimately, that's why I do what I do. I think being a dad is the best job I've ever had, and it's a job that I take very seriously. So I thought it'd be fun to bring on Juliana and have some chats with her. But I really appreciate you guys tuning in to season 3 and all the episodes that you have all listened to. As Juliana said, don't forget to subscribe.
Hit that notification bell too.
And then also, if you feel so inclined, give me a review on whatever podcast outlet or YouTube that you watch. So we'd really appreciate that.
In the future, I'm going to be famous.
So follow you too whenever your YouTube channel comes out. I'll let my listeners know whenever you launch your channel, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Which will be soon.
Which will be soon. We'll talk about that. But also, finally, if you are a business owner and you're looking for ways to work through problems or have a quick consultation with me, I have, or call Julianna, I have opened up some consultation hours on my website, jasonmpearl.com, so you can check that out. We're a couple episodes left of season 3. Got a couple more special guests coming on, but no more special than this one, Julianna. So thank you, Julianna, for keeping us company today. And thank you all for listening today. I'm Jason Pearl. You are
Julianna Pearl.
This is the Company We Keep podcast. Until next time, we're out. Peace.